Hello, welcome to Community Currency. I'm Carol Brouillet, 2010, and with me is the author of 2012, The Awakening, Bill Douglas, and I'm very happy to have Bill on the show. I must admit, he wrote a novel, fiction book, and I just opened the cover and thought, well, I'll check out the first few pages. I really don't have time to read this, and I just was entranced by the book, and I devoured it in one setting. It was very impressive, and it mixes some scientific studies with fiction, and it's hard to actually gauge, what is true and what is imagined in the book. And I'm very happy to have Bill on the show to discuss some of the very interesting ideas that you bring out in the novel. So welcome.
It's ludicrous that these things aren't part of public education because the medical research on mind-body techniques is overwhelming. In fact, I was supposed to speak to, there was a handful of mind-body teachers that were invited to speak at the National Institutes of Health last summer for their first ever Mind-Body Week, and I was one of them, John Kabat-Zinn and a few others, and we were going to present to the whole National Institutes of Health on mind-body techniques, and I was particularly going to talk about getting it into education because it would literally save trillions of dollars in future health costs. And unfortunately, it was abruptly canceled.
Really?
And, I'd already booked my flight and everything. I mean, it was really, really bizarre. But the possibility of these things is tremendous. And
well, this is, I think, it sounds like you're just confronting in some ways the shadow, because I know I have a friend who teaches holistic health at San Francisco State University, and it seems that there's a lot of people interested in holistic health, alternative health, meditation, and those techniques. But then you have a industry which is very interested in profits and the pharmaceuticals that are actually cancer-causing and illness-producing, and even just really horrific stuff. But there's this monetary incentive which trumps everything else, and there's a real struggle in the health field over this.
Right. Yeah, in 2012, The Awakening explores that as well as, this pharmaceuticalization of society, and especially children, ADD and ADHD and all that stuff. And there was a study that came out of the University of Miami School of Medicine a few years ago that showed that Tai Chi profoundly helped teenagers that had ADHD reduce their, ADHD symptoms. And so it's like not only can these techniques, help reduce some of these health problems or reduce the need for over-pharmaceuticalization of our society, but at the same time, they, as we were talking about earlier, they broaden the consciousness, so they make them more effective citizens and voters and visionaries of possibility, no matter what field they're in, because they think in more broad swath, multidimensional ways of, how things interact and overlap. It's just, and this novel touches a bit on it, but my next novel, which I'm working on right now, A Conspiracy of Spirits, I call it an environmental spiritual thriller, and it really gets it digs deeply into the whole issue of renewables and green technology, and talks. It's been amazing. I've looked into so many things as I've written the novel about renewables and how I just found an article recently which fits so well into it that I ran and put it in there right away. But British Columbia, the western province in Canada, has adopted a really aggressive renewable green energy program to help stimulate green energy technology and industry in British Columbia, which is where Vancouver is. And what they have done is they have almost added 10% to their employment figures just through the implementation of green technology. And so, you stop and think about that. The United States unemployment rate is less than 10%. If British Columbia boosted their employment by 10%, we're looking at a potentially zero unemployment society if we embrace these things. So there's like a multidimensional aspect to these solutions, where they not only relieve, hundreds of billions of dollars of, health, but they dramatically increase your employment, and then they dramatically reduce the food and transportation and housing and everything, because free energy energy costs are a part of everything that we pay for.
Right.
And so, the multidimensional aspect of these solutions is both very frustrating because it's not being realized, but then on the other hand, it's extremely hopeful.
And I think people should know a little bit about you because I think you've tackled such an amazing topic, and you have such an unusual history. Bill is one of the founders of World Healing Day, and he's also a Tai Chi master and has written books about that and also about children, but you never really intended to be a writer. It just happened. Do you want to just tell people a little bit more about how this novel happened? Well,
I've spent 30 years studying mind-body technologies, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, and meditation. As well as being a political and issue activist, for me it was it's all connected. The liberation of consciousness and the liberation of society and the planet.
It is, because the world surely needs more healing. And thank you so much for all of your work, Bill.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you for yours.